Are we ready?
Oh, it says I can't have my phone that way. Oh.
Okay. Are we doing it? Are we on? Am I live? You saying yes? Is that yes? Yes. Hello. That was a bit unusual, wasn't it? We're in already. Welcome to Nelson's Distillery and Gin School. My name's David, and I'm afraid you've got me for the full half hour. But the young lady operating the camera behind us is Megan. Megan, say hi.
Hello.
Wave, Megan. Megan's waving. So we're just going to take you on a little bit of a tour about who Nelson's Gin is, a little bit of history about who we are, why we're here. What was that going?
I'm watching it from this.
Oh, hang on, she's going to go in again in the background, so sorry about that. So we're going to give you a little bit of a tour, a little bit about who we are, and I hope you haven't drunk your sample already, because I'm going to give you tasting notes of that at the end when we finish. So bear with me, sit tight, hold fire. So we are Nelson's Distillery and Gin School. We're currently in the Gin School. These little things you can see here are part of the Gin School experience. And we've been going now since 2015. We're here because of one man's passion, a man called Neil Harrison. Neil is our founder and our master distiller. Back in 2012, Neil had a vision to create a natural, organic, botanical gin. Spent 3 years developing the flavour of that gin, and then during that period, he also applied for his distiller's licence, and in 2012 he started that. 2015, we launched our gin. And we launched from a small unit just up the road from where we are today. We launched, by the way, in 2015 with this gin here. Our first gin, London Dry number 7. Whilst this gin is not unique, it's very definitely unusual. It's unusual because it's got 27 botanicals in it. Most retail gins have got maybe 6, maybe 7. But in this case, we've got 27. The reason we're able to get to 27 botanicals is because of Neil's background. Neil is a master chef by profession. So Neil's come to this from the point of view of taste, flavour and balance. What's the experience like? Not the process, not how do we make the gin, how do we make it for this price point. For Neil, it's about what's the experience like. And as a result of that, we're a premium gin and we make no apology for that fact at all. Some of you might be wondering why we're called Nelson's. Well, Nelson's quite simply because this fella. Don't come in? Good? Yeah. This fella, Nelson. Greatest admiral of the fleet we ever had. He quite liked his gin. He quite liked his gin that much that when he was Admiral of Fleet out in Minorca, he and the British Navy built a gin distillery to meet his needs. It's still there today, so if you're on holiday you can go and do a tour around Nelson's Distillery. It's a gin called Shoriga. So it's spelled with an X at the beginning of it if you're having a look for that gin. But also we're called Nelson's because of one man. There's a guy that influenced Neil very much. He gave him a lot of direction, encouragement, clarity, and this is a gentleman named Nelson James Harrison, Neil's grandfather. So really, the name Nelson's is a tribute to Neil's grandfather. All of our gins have got a number 7 on the bottom of them. That's just a simple count. During the 3 years that Neil spent developing our gin, he also attended gin schools, not unlike this one here. And on the 7th gin school, he got to the final balance of 27 botanicals. So coincidentally though, he did 7 stills at each of the schools. So if you've done the maths, 49 gins, 3 years, and a culinary background before we get to launch this gin. It's worth mentioning, this gin is my reintroduction to gin. As a youngster, I tried gin, and for me it was a bit like drinking surgical spirits. And gin got parked in the I don't like gin camp. Now, I used to own a licensed venue with Sue, my better half, a few years back. These guys turned up, gave me this one to try, and I went, oh wow, that's interesting. Just completely changed the way I think about gin. So much so, I'm happy to drink this neat. It's not a challenge, I'm not challenging everybody to drink this neat from here on in. It's just I enjoy that for the drink on its own, where it takes me on its own. That's our London Dry number 7 gin. Now, what we're going to do today also is I'm going to take you through and we're going to go and meet our still, Victory. And I just wanted to introduce you a little bit to the gin school. Megan, can you grab the camera a little bit for me? What we've got here is a gin school. So in the gin school we've got little micro distilleries. We've actually got 14 in total, all the way around. We've got 14 in total, and we've got a whole range of botanicals that we can give you through there. So for gin school experience, you can come in here and distill and make your own gin. By the way, this is the prize that we're offering for you guys tonight. And so there's a little competition, enter the competition, be the winner, come and meet us down here, come and distill your own bottle of gin at about 40-41% ABV, and you get to choose which botanicals you want to use yourself. So we'll do that for you as well. Right, so let's go through, we'll go through and we'll meet our still, Victory. So follow me this way, Megan. Here we go, this is Victory. I just need you all to say good evening, Victory. Say again, good evening, Victory.
Good evening, Victory.
Ah, there's a couple of you. Well, Victory is unique in the world. There's not another distill like Victory anywhere on the planet. Lots look the same, but not exactly the same. Exactly the same in so much as that in the 1830s, the Victorians invented the sealed still. Sealed still, sealed through here, sealed there, all joins and connections are sealed, no vapours escape. That was invented in the 1930s. Since that point in time, the technology has barely changed. But this one is unique. A family business, Arnold Holstein, a German family business. All they do is make stills. All they do is make the world's best stills by a long, long way. But Neil packed a bag with the 27 botanicals that we use, pootled off to Germany, spent 2 weeks with their development engineers, and between them they designed this still to meet our needs uniquely. This is handmade for us. If you're looking at it thinking, I could get one of these in the garage, just shy of 300 grand. So this one is referred to as an alembic still with column. Alembic still with column. Alembic is a derivative of Greek or Arabic words and essentially means cup or a pot. So you get a cup or a pot, you put a liquid in it, you heat the liquid, create a vapour, catch the vapour, hey presto, you've distilled. Early on, we used the sheepskin. The large surface area of the sheepskin, the vapours would collect in there, condense and then drip out the sides. Problem with that, of course, is you're picking up oils from the sheepskin. It's not pure what you've made. So then we worked out we could make a pottery umbrella. We take the pottery umbrella, and then they had pots with long necks and a big bulbousy bit at the bottom. Hopefully the steam will get caught at the top, start condensing in the long necks and settle at the bottom. Then we got more malleable materials, things we could shape better, make into better shapes and designs. Things like copper. And we started shaping copper into different kind of shapes and styles. And that's where we get to usually still something like this. Or actually more specifically something like the little micro ones in the school. 1830s, Victorians invented the sealed still, but we end up with something like this. It looks like it could be 200 years old. It's not. It's in fact only 6. That's how little the technology has changed. So in this case, we've got a water bath. The water bath heats up the alembic, the pot. In the pot we put the first of our core ingredients, which is this one. Know what it is?
Alcohol.
Ah, well done. This is neutral alcohol. So this is neutral alcohol. Neutral as in it's got no flavour. This is currently 97% ABV. 97% ABV. At that point, that leaves you 3% trace elements, which is essentially water. That's what we refer to this as neutral alcohol. There is no flavour. By the way, it's chemically impossible to get 100%. When you get to 98%, this goes very volatile. Turns out it's an alcoholic vapour, so we'd be stood in the lovely alcoholic gas, giggling, me and Megan would be giggling a lot. But it'd be a nervous giggle because that's highly explosive. So 97 is as concentrated as you get alcohol in a liquid form. 3% trace element water. The original source of the alcohol, in this case mixed grain, is now 0.4%. So whether we'd use potato, whether we'd use rice or fruit, it would still only be 0.4%. So at that point, you wouldn't really taste the source of the original alcohol, which is why I refer to it as neutral. We take 100 litres of that, put that in there, open this up, And we chuck in our 27 botanicals. Oh, that's just a mix. We haven't cleaned it out. So we got our 27 botanicals in there. And then we lock this down and top it up with water from this system at the back, which is a 3-way reverse osmosis filter. Each filter gets finer and finer and finer and remove all particles out of the water. The water has no flavour either. You know when you travel around the country and you drink water, it tastes different wherever you go. That's because the local minerals, copper, iron, fluoride, chloride, chalk, all these kind of things affect the flavour of the water. We've filtered them all out. That water has absolutely no flavour at all. So we've got 100 litres of alcohol, loads of warmth in the alcohol, but no flavour. 120 litres of water, no flavour. The flavour for our gin comes entirely from the 27 botanicals. We start warming this up, we're bringing it up, warming up the temperature, and a cooking process takes place. As the botanicals start breaking down, molecularly they break down, the alcohol gets in and dissolves the oils. Oils are the taste, flavours and aromas. So the alcohol has dissolved all the taste, flavours and aromas out of the botanicals. We bring this to 80.6 centigrade, at which point the alcohol evaporates with the oils and flavours in it. They then pass along through here to the column, a refractory column. Here we're refining the alcohol as it's working it up, the vapours up and up and up and up, and eventually the alcoholic vapours pass over some copper plates. Copper is a brilliant material for making stills from. This is surgical grade steel. We could make that and that out of surgical grade steel and save a fortune, but we don't. We use copper. 1, because copper is a good transfer of heat. 2, copper helps kill bacteria. And 3, far more importantly, copper and alcohol have a chemical reaction. As alcoholic vapours pass over the copper plates, the sulphates, bitter taste, transfers to the copper plate. The slower we do that, the more those sulphates remove, the better the drink. Now, then the alcoholic vapours pass down through here, which is our condenser. Oh yeah, these things, by the way, these sulphates, they're the things that sometimes give you a bad head. You know, sometimes you might drink a bottle of wine and you wake up in the morning, you don't feel great. And another time you drink a bottle of wine and you do feel great. It's not the alcoholic content that's made the difference, how well was the wine finished. In this case, how much of the sulphates have removed. That's why we use the water bath. It's slower, softer, gentler process. The slower the vapours pass over there, the more the sulphates remove, and then they're reproducing a much finer drink. Then down through the condenser, and it runs out there as a clear liquid, and that clear liquid is?
Gin.
Gin. Gin. The first bit of this gin is volatile. Volatile as in tastes disgusting, volatile as in I can launch a rocket. It's horrible. So we run the first bit of that off into this bucket down here. We refer to that as the tails. Tails is volatile, not very nice. We get to 85% ABV, flick the valve, and we start carrying on distilling and run that into our first tank, which is referred to as the heart. The heart is the good quality bit of the gin. When we get to 80% ABV, we flick the valve again, carry on distilling and run that into the second tank. This is now referred to as the tails. It's still kind of gin, it's just not the best bit of the gin. It's very weak in flavour, goes a bit sour, a bit bitter. This bit, by the way, is a bit that makes a difference between us and a mass distiller. If you're a mass distiller, you automate this. When you get to 85%, you start collecting. When you get to 80%, you stop collecting. We, on the other hand, as we get near to 85%, nearly over, take the lid off, test the viscosity, taste it. If the bitter taste is still running, we'll let this run on. So we might run it down to 84%, we might run it down to 83%, but we're not flicking that valve until we've got good quality hearts. Similarly, when we get near to 80%, back over, test the gin, viscosity, taste it. If we've had the best of the flavours, we'll stop it early. So what that means is, usually we'll get 100 litres of heart, the good quality bit of the gin. Sometimes though, we'll only get 80. But whatever we catch is always good quality hearts of the gin. If you've automated that, you'll get 100 every time. But that 100 is made up of some of these sulphates, the bitter taste, the things we're avoiding, and the weaker, thinner oils from the tails. We don't, we only ever catch the heart, the good quality bit. That's the premium bit, that's the bit you pay for. We take that then, we put that into these, which is referred to as blending tanks, and we blend 2 batches together prior to bottling. From the bottling, we go to the bottling, we go through the filter. Blue gin, talk to you about it in a minute. Goes through the filter and then to the bottling unit. And I know you're looking at that going, oh, well, that's a bit disappointing. We'll bang 300 bottles an hour out on that when we're busy. Literally, as the 4th bottle goes on there, first one is ready to come off here. Then we stack them out all the way down here, 7 deep, all the way down, 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 and then we hand wax, hand finish every bottle. Every bottle that leaves here, hand wax, hand finished. That's 3,500 bottles a week that we'll produce and pack and ship. We can distill, bottle, pack and ship in the same day. So literally from the beginning to the end there, 4.5 hours, from the beginning through to bottling, 6.5 hours, we can have it ready, packed, shipped, boxed, packaged, gone in the same day. That's why gin's so really exciting, because we can react and respond so quickly. Whiskey, 3 years in a day, and it does that to impart maturity and character. In whiskey, you distill it first up, 65%, 80%, something like that, put it in a barrel, leave it 3 years, and that will give you maybe some sweetness. You'd use an old sherry barrel, give you a little bit of sweetness. If I wanted to make a sweet gin, I'll put something called Blue Mallow in, you can have it tomorrow morning. If you want a smoky whiskey, you'll put it in a charred barrel, leave it 3 years at least, and then you've got smoky whiskey. If I want a smoky gin, I'll put something called black cardamom in, have it tomorrow morning. We impart our maturity and character from the botanicals that we choose. So we're going to go back into the school and I'm just going to show you quickly some of the botanicals. There we go. So we've got some of the botanicals here that we can use. These are botanicals that we can choose from in the school. So when you've won, you can come and choose from these the botanicals that you'd like to make your gin from. So that could be florally, fruity, flowery, sweet, earthy, gutsy, chilies, hot, spicy. You go where you want to because it's your journey. Not mine, your journey. There are some ingredients that we put in to start off with, and we put 3 core ingredients in. Ta-da. First of these ingredients in there, one called Orris. Orris, as Megan is about to share with us, is the ground up root of a, Megan?
Plant?
Ground up root of iris. Is the ground up root of a?
Iris.
Yes, it is. Fantastic. The other thing that's really exciting about Orris is the world's only natural, Megan?
Fixant.
Yes! Oh! It's the world's only natural fixant. What we mean by that is in there, the alcohol, with the distill, the alcohol has dissolved all the natural flavours. The natural oils and flavours are dissolved in the alcohol. When we distill through there, the hearts is about 85%. If you like, it's a concentrate. The hearts is a concentrate. So to get the final balance of the drink, we cut it with the filtered water. As we pour the filtered water in, the oils start swirling around, trying to break free. A process called lushing. Orris stops that happening. If we didn't put Orris in, and you left your gin a week, you'd come back and there'd be lovely aromatic oil floating on the top of essentially vodka underneath. There is a chemical derivative that does the same thing, but we use the organic one, the natural organic one. Used in perfume for the exact same reason. Arabic countries also use it in ice cream because it helps stop the ice cream melting so quickly. So there you go, buy yourself some Orris. The second ingredient we put in, one called Angelica root. Angelica root is a meadow plant, it grows about this kind of high, slightly earthy, slightly pungent. It's not in there because of that, it's in there because it's also got a job of work to do. And the job of work that this has to do is you just rounds out and smooths off the flavours of your gin. It takes about 12 hours to do, but it smooths out, rounds out your drink. Great ingredient. And then the third one we put in, coriander seed. Coriander seed, unlike green leaf coriander, 15% of the world's population can't stand green leaf coriander. It's kind of got an oil in it which is soapy. For some people it's a bit like eating shampoo, that's me. But coriander seed, interestingly enough, same plant, doesn't suffer that at all. Different oil altogether. It's got an oil called pinene. And the pinene oil is very similar to the oil found in juniper. Now we don't put the juniper in it because you need to choose how much juniper you want to put in. But juniper being the key ingredients of gin. Juniper, by the way, has got a marvellous history. For 4,000 years we've used juniper for medicinal properties. The Miamic, the Malachite people would take these berries, squash them together into a poultice and apply it to an open cut or a wound as a dressing. As a dressing, antiseptic dressing. They also learnt that if you inhaled it, it would treat tuberculosis. And you could apply it to ulcers and clear up ulcers, and it was fantastic for rheumatism. Socians would cut sprigs off the tree of the juniper and boil that up and make a tea, and that would be great use for treating kidney and liver ailments. And Druids and Celts would take sprigs off the tree, clump them together into a bunch, burn them, dab it out so it smoked and smouldered, and that smoke they would use in a ceremony to cleanse a hut or a dwelling that may have had illness or disease in it. So juniper has got a great history in medicinal qualities. If you want to know a little bit more, win the gin school. Come down here, learn a bit more about what juniper can do for us. So we've also got some other botanicals. I've got to move on because we're running short on time. So we've got medley type stuff up here, we've got floral things. Oh, by the way, lemongrass, which we've got, reduces anxiety. Fantastic ingredient. Oranges, full of vitamin C. Rose hips, 20 times vitamin C to oranges. Tonka beans, licorice. We've got dandelion and burdock. Dandelion and burdock, great for kidney, great for liver. Both reduce blood pressure. Licorice raises blood pressure. You can use those. Cassia quills. It's been used at the moment in some treatments of cancer. Not curing, but managing, helping that. So a lot of this stuff has got medicinal properties, some sort of basis in herbal medicine. So you'll be choosing from these to make your own gin. Right, getting short on time. Shall we go and taste the gin?
I think we should.
Cool. So this is our rhubarb and custard gin. Rhubarb and custard. It's not a London Dry gin. This one is. This is a London Dry. I think London Dry has already been explained. It's a classification, it's a category of gin, it's a style of gin. We can't call this one London Dry because we break the rules very slightly. We blend a little bit afterwards. One of the special things about this particular London Dry is one, it was the first one in the world done, London Dry. Also, it's a 2 times international award-winning gin. This is in the top 6 in its category in the world. It's a world-class gin, rhubarb and custard. Now we can't call it London Dry because to be London Dry you must distill, it must be above 37.5%, nothing added afterwards, and what's the other one? What's the other one? Nothing added afterwards. Anyway, we do blend afterwards, and we blend afterwards primarily because if you take rhubarb and chop it up into little pieces and put it in the still, it cooks, softens, stews, falls apart, tastes disgusting. Ugh. So what we do in our rhubarb, we send that rhubarb up north, we get it cold pressed. What comes back is a natural organic syrup, and that we blend afterwards. And for that reason, we can't call it London Dry. But it is 2 times international award-winning gin. So when I make my gin, start off with a load of ice, get rid of it, and then eat your gin. So, as before, if you or when you've invested in a premium gin, try it neat first. Don't get a premium gin and a mixer and go glug 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 glug. You'll drown out where they're trying to take you. Now this gin is made with our London Dry gin as a base. And we take it on a journey and turn it into the rhubarb and custard. Now, what I'd like to do, agitate it in the glass a little bit. Have a little bit of sniff. What you'll pick up is a little bit of light, sweet rhubarb up front. And then when you're ready, taste it. Hold it in your mouth and then take it down when you're ready. Now what you'll find there is you'll pick up a lovely little bit of sweetness from rhubarb. Naturally sweet, we do not add any extra sugar to this at all. And then, after a little bit, followed through by the vanilla. For some people, this is reminiscent of rhubarb and custard sweet. So just take another little sip now and pick up those elements. When you're ready, a little bit of icing, just one little bit of icing, chill it down and drink it. For me, I would drink it neat. Now, when people say to me, what's the best mixer for the London Dry gin? Number 7, London Dry, I'd say more London Dry. For rhubarb and custard, what we do know is that people that like a sweeter gin would generally go with a sweeter mixer. So in this case, what I'm suggesting there is you put a bit of lemonade in, but I would only put equal amounts of lemonade to the gin. At this stage, take it on a little bit of journey here. What happens there is that sweetness will bring forwards more of the custard notes. No, that's good. Good there. Now, what you can do if you wanted to dress the drink, is just add a little bit of zest of rhubarb. So if you were to zest a bit of rhubarb, just put some little zest of rhubarb in, twist them up and curl them around if you want to eat a little bit, and then what I would do is serve that with a lovely bit of shortbread biscuit. That is a great way to enjoy that gin. You get a little bit of sourness from the rhubarb, get a little bit of sweetness from the shortbread. It's absolutely fantastic. And by the way, it works really, really good with a bit of blue cheese. So, what I'm going to say to you is thank you very much for putting up with me for the last half hour-ish. Do enter the competition, do win, get yourself down there, come and do a gin school. Now, what I did miss, by the way, I ran straight past it and Megan was supposed to shout it out to me. What you may have seen as we ran past here is we've got a whole load of blue gins going out. We have just raised, with gratefulness of you guys, we have just raised just under £15,000 for NHS charities with the sale of this gin. If you're thinking, oh, I've got to get one, it's too late, it's gone, it's too late. But what I can tell you, there's some, can I tell them? There's something very exciting happening.
Find out Tuesday.
You'll find out on Tuesday there. The reason we haven't got Neil here tonight is because he's very busy planning something else that we're going to do. Something that we're going to do for all of the key workers to get involved in. So we'd like you to get involved with that. If you want to know a little bit more, join us on our Facebook page Tuesday.
Yeah,
we're announcing it on Tuesday, so keep an eye out there. If you want to look at more about Nelson's, go to our website, nelsonsdistillery.co.uk. Thank you so much for your time tonight, and hopefully I'll get to see you at the gin school. Thanks so much. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.